Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Brian Turner from the channel Humorous Fitness that you're watching currently right now. And this video is about why do people hate on vegans so much? And also my message to those vegans to make people stop hating us so much. So I switched over to a vegan plant-based diet fairly recently, about 3 to 4 months ago. So that means that my perspective of this is very relevant. You know, I was just recently a meat eater. I was looking at the vegans as a meat eater, and then I switched over to the team vegan, and now I'm looking at, you know, vegans and meat eaters from a vegan perspective. But being a meat eater in the past gives me a very relevant perspective on what people are thinking about vegans. And currently it's not a good sight. The way I used to look at vegans before I was eating vegan is I wouldn't even delve into any of the research. I wouldn't even think about reading about it because the things I was seeing, in my mind, I was just so surefire that all vegans were like this. All vegans were crazy and all vegans were yelling at people and making fun of people and all this stuff. Think about this. The only way that we can really perceive things that we don't actually have a personal in real life connection and relationship with is off of either the news on TV or off of the internet, things that you're seeing and reading from other people on the internet. Now in the news, what you see when you hear about vegans is you're only going to hear the most entertaining stuff, and the entertaining stuff is the most negative stuff, the most like horror story type stuff. So you aren't going to see vegans, I don't know, feeding children at a homeless shelter vegan food. That's not going to, it's not very entertaining. There's nothing controversial about it. That no one's going to tweet about it and be like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. But what you will find is you'll find those videos of vegans going in a protest to a restaurant, and they'll go through and they'll yell at people as they're eating. Oh, you're a pizza. You know, they're yelling all these terrible things at people and making these people feel terrible when those people are just sitting in a restaurant eating the first special on the menu. They don't know. And then the other video you see is you see vegans go into like cities where people are coming out of stores with fur on. And I get the idea, right? You don't want people to wear fur because it's messed up. People are using animal skin and stuff, but you're going about it wrong. Those people will go up and splash the people who just bought fur with fake blood. They'll give them like a 3-gallon bucket load of red paint all over them. And that's so the wrong way to go about it. I get it. That is an emotional revenge type thing. Maybe it feels good. You're like, yeah! And maybe you're making that hard point. And yes, hard points do need to be made. At certain times, there is a yin and yang. There needs to be good and bad and stuff, so you need those hard points. But that is not the only perception that people need to see when it comes to vegan food. Because when you see that, when you think, oh man, if I interact with vegans, then that's gonna happen to me. And if I become a vegan, then I become a person who runs around to restaurants, yells at people, and then throws fake blood on them. So that's on TV, that's on the news, that's what you see on NBC or whatever, on CNN. But what you see on the internet is a whole nother thing. What you see on the internet is basically the limited, most loud orators of vegan food and eating and whatnot. So you're gonna hear the people who are the loudest. You're not gonna hear the people who are making nice videos but are very quiet. There's nothing very entertaining. There's nothing funny. They're not making fun of people. There's not controversy. There's not a reason to tweet it again, right? So what you're gonna hear is you're gonna hear lots of like Vegan Gains, Durian Rider, Freely, like those type of vegan channels. And by no means do I think any of those channels shouldn't exist or they don't serve a purpose. But a lot of those channels are very negative. If you go to Vegan Gains channel, you're gonna hear, you know, you're gonna hear this very loud, just pissed off kid telling you that, you know, you're gonna die of this and that and that other, and then if I see your baby, I'm gonna punch your baby in the face. So it's like this very crazy. If you don't understand like the reason he's saying those lines in that vernacular in that certain way, if you don't understand that that's kind of like a put up character, you like that's kind of a thing he like plays into. He does the angry thing to make it more entertaining. He's not really gonna punch your baby. If you don't understand that though, then you think, oh, okay, so one of the leaders of vegan eating is just absolutely cynical and like schizophrenic, murderous, crazy villain type person, right? Serial killer, right? So that's a bad look if you don't understand what he's doing. With Durian Rider, he's one of the vegan people who will talk about other vegan people on the internet, content creators, or just in general other people, and he'll just S on you. He'll just crap all over you if you aren't a bicyclist who cycles every single day, 10 miles, this, that, and the other, and if you weigh anything over 140 pounds. Durian Riders just can talk so much crap about you, how you don't eat right, how you're not exercising right, you're not living your life right, you're not doing this, that, and the other, you're taking this chemical, you're taking these steroids, you're doing this and that and the other. So he's one of those people who points out the problems with other people. Again, I feel like there is some need for that. Sometimes people do need to be called out. Sometimes it brings very interesting perspectives and stories and audience bases and whatnot into the argument. But another point though is if you're just a random person and you come onto YouTube to look at vegan food to maybe be informed and research into vegan eating a little bit, then you get a very loud character yelling at all the people that you thought were really cool and telling you that they suck. So it's like another person who's just perpetuating a little bit of negativity. Again, something that might be useful, but it's all negativity. Where's the positivity? But then it gets even worse. If you go to the comments of any of these vegan videos or any video of anyone trying to go vegan, you'll see these terrible arguments where it starts with someone saying, oh, hey, you know, like, this is kind of cool. Vegan eating looks kind of interesting, although I don't know if I would ever be able to give up my chicken nuggets, whatever it is, whatever the food is, right? And then someone comes back with a comment that says, oh, did you know that, you know, the way that chicken is, you know, grown and harvested and slaughtered and whatnot is this and that and the other. It's very disgusting and it does this, that, and the other. So at first it starts pretty normal, you know, two very normal comments, but then it just gets like ferocious, you know, then emotion comes in and then logic goes out the door. So someone's like, oh, you're such a vegan little bitch. Like, it's not like the animals wouldn't kill you. And then someone comes back with, oh, you're such a dumb asshole. The equivalency of you eating chickens is the same as you shooting your sister in the ear and raping your mom. Like, it's like these comments go back and forth like that. And I'm not saying it's one-sided. It's like people who eat meat are saying that to vegan people, and people who eat vegan are saying that to meat eaters. And it's just like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And there's no actual logical, you know, trade of words, discussion, or thought. It's just like this angry thing. So if you come into a video and you scroll down the comments, like, oh, maybe I'll read some, you know, comments that people have left, questions and answers, maybe educate myself a bit more, maybe leave myself a comment and maybe get some answers and insight. And then you just see like this piss fest, and it's just like, oh, this is what vegan community is about talking crap to people and making people feel bad until you straw man them into switching over. So you get a bad perception, and public perception is everything, like I said earlier, right? Think about this, public perception of hip hop nowadays. You heard, maybe you're not into hip hop, so you don't really know this, but there's a new style of hip hop going on, and it's like Fetty Wap, Young Thug, 2 Chainz, a bunch of these other guys. And basically what the style is a bunch of guys making a lot of noises, not necessarily so articulate, not even necessarily saying anything in general. The words don't necessarily have to be cognitive or make any sense. But it'll be like, hey, who, hey, who, you and hey, bow, hit. And then in the background is like this really sweet beat. Like, it's just like this gangster, bassy, slow rhythm beat. And it's called trap music. This is like trap hop or trap hip hop, trap rap. And when this first came out, it was looked at like a joke. People were looking at this like it was stupid. Like, the first couple videos were posted over and over, my type of way and stuff like that, over and over, and people were like, this is so stupid, the guy, okay, you know, he's trying to say. But a lot of people got into it. MTV got into it. The radio got into it. Popular celebrities got into it. They were doing the dance. They were doing the dance of it. They were playing it in the back of their Vines and their Instagram. So now people are starting to see it, and the perception of the public eye is that this trap music is the new thing. It's the coolest thing. It's what everyone's into. I mean, Justin Bieber just put it up. Miley Cyrus just put it up. Kim Kardashian had it in the back of her car during the reality TV show. I'm seeing it everywhere, and everyone seems to be liking it, so the public perception is that it's accepted. And because it is accepted publicly, you can then accept it very easily with no backlash, no consequence of you liking it, because everyone else has already decided it's okay and they like it, so it's pretty okay for you to like it. Do you see where I'm going with this though? Trap hop is vegan eating, except instead of making trap or vegan really cool, what happened was over time with the vegan eating, a lot of, I would say, more elitist and less marketable public minds were speaking very loudly, and this gave a bad view to vegan eating. Instead of it being Justin Bieber and Kim K looking all cool about vegan eating, it was instead, you know, about those people that went to this restaurant and threw all the steaks on the ground, or went over here and like peed in the milk, or whatever they did. And then people's public perception is negative, so then it's publicly acceptable to hate vegans, to talk bad about vegans. It's actually it's against the norm of society's normals to accept or try vegan because you are part of the unaccepted group. So I could make this video an hour long. I could make this video 2 hours long. I have so much to say. I have a lot to talk about with this topic, so I'm sure there's gonna be more videos in the future. But the last point I wanna make is that we need to have more relevant and more relatable vegan heads talking in the community, representing the community for those that are vegan and for those that are considering eating vegan. And the reason that I say that is that you have people that cover certain demographics and certain types of people throughout the vegan community. So for example, if you are into what Freely is into, then you can be a Freely girl, right? Or if you're into durian riders, cycling and whatnot, you can be a durian dude, or you can be a vegan gains comedy angry kind of guy, right? But there's not necessarily a logical, straight to the point, I understand and accept the fact that you may eat meat. Like, that's not the type of vegans that there are. There's only really those types that if you eat meat, you are wrong. And a lot of time it feels, or maybe it's true, that if you are not eating 100% vegan, you have any mistakes at all, that you are wrong and that I hate you. That's terrible, because you will never ever try anything if the people that you're trying to get into the group with are hating on you. It will never happen ever. And I feel like right now there's a giant hole for those that are in the transition period between meat eating and plant-based eating. And whether that is, them trying to switch for health reasons, ethnical reasons, whether it's them just trying to add 3 days of vegan eating a week and not actually switch all the way over, whatever it is, there's not a lot of vegans out there that are available for you to talk to, hear from, and learn things when you're in that type of a group. Mostly there's kind of like an elitist type or an all informative, all in or all out style of vegan food. And I think it's very important to accept people no matter what and where. Because as vegans, right, the point of being a vegan is that you care so much, you're so empathetic towards the lives of others, especially animals. The emotions of other people are something that I feel like a lot of people forget sometimes. You forget that, if you're met with negativity, then it's going to be very hard to get into something. But if you're met with positivity, if you're met with that grandma's response where she says, "Oh, hey honey, I don't even know you, but here's a hug and here's a cookie," you're going to be like, man, I don't care if grandma's a devil worshipping Satanist right now and she's planning on harvesting my liver, because at this moment, grandma makes me feel good about myself. It's accepted. She seems like she's happy to have me around. She seems happy that I'm talking to her. That's how I want people to feel about the vegan communities. I want people to be like, I want to start talking about eating vegan. I'm not ready to do it, but I want to talk about it. And I want them to be met and received with a positive reception. I want them to go away from that first initial response with a vegan, that first initial interaction, and be like, wow, that guy was so nice to me. I was actually not thinking about switching to vegan, but as I was talking to him, he was super, super nice. And I'm kind of excited just to see what that guy does, try some of his meals out and then report back to him, and he'll be like, "Oh wow, that's cool, man, I'm stoked that you tried it." See what I'm saying? Like, when you get that positive response, it's very encouraging to continue going. It's the same as trying to go to the gym often, right? When you first start going, you need that positive response. If someone's there every day telling you that you suck and you're fat and you're ugly, or you're skinny and you're stupid or whatever, you're gonna be like, I'm not into this, I'm out. Same thing with eating vegan. You have to have a positive response. So that's what I want to fill, is I want to fill that gap between meat eaters and plant-based eaters. And I think that you should try to do the same thing, especially if you're someone who's out there content creating, tweeting, Instagramming, whatever it is, and you're a vegan. You should try to be as acceptable of other people and as helpful to other people as possible. And if someone says, "Hey, I want to start eating vegan, but I just can't do it yet, I just can't switch over," is it okay if I eat 1 meal a day vegan? And then you encourage them. You say, "Yeah, of course it is, of course it is." And then you can eat 2 one day, and then one of those days you can have 3. And then one day, you know what, how about just do a whole vegan day and then keep eating meat for the other 6 days? And then you work them, and you slowly transition. It's the only way to do anything, and I don't know why the rules are changing just because it's vegan eating instead of stopping drinking, stopping smoking cigarettes, lifting, exercising, going to college. Whatever the thing is, it's weird that the steps to completing that task are now different though, because it's vegan eating. So there you have it, folks. A very long video. I know. These talking videos, I get very into it. I get very excited. I talk very quickly. I know the comments are coming talking about how fast I speak, but I don't want these videos to be 45 minutes, so I try to keep my pace quick so I can get you the thoughts out, get all my words and my ideas across, but without you having to sit there for 50 minutes while I sit there and lick my lips. Nobody wants to see that, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it brings some kind of insight and maybe a different perspective, because I think it's very important to step out of your own mind, step into someone else's mind, and think about things through their thoughts instead of just the ones that you've created yourself, so that you can broaden your horizon. So basically, in this video, I want you guys to just be more positive to those who are considering vegan eating, but more positive in general. I want you to, as a vegan, especially someone in the content creation area, I want you to be as positive and give as positive a light to vegan eating as possible, so that as many people that are willing to switch over as possible can try it without any sort of anxiety, or feel like that if they fail and they admit it, they'll be made fun of or they'll be hated on by vegans. I want there to be a positive light about vegan community. That's all it is. That's what it comes down to. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did and you think the ideas are good, then please, I implore you to share this on your Facebook. That's the best way to get this across, but also share this anywhere you'd like to, Reddit or 4chan or veganforum.com, whatever it is, and make sure you comment so I can know what you guys are thinking. Get your ideas out in the community. Maybe start talking to people in the comments, helping people out, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. There'll be plenty more vegan videos coming. Thank you guys for checking us out. Team Beyond the Week. CT.
Lift heavy or die, MIRIN, motherfucker.